Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. How do you feel about this fight, and where do you see this fight?
Remember, Khamzat never have a conditioning problem before this. After COVID, it really messed him up. And I was there. He was bleeding, like throwing up like blood. And he was in Vegas, right? But as far as I know now, he's in Russia, he's in camp, he's focused. It's hard to bet against focused Khamzat.
Think this showdown is going to be razor close? Think again. From the first bell, every sign points one way, total domination. Dricus Du Plessis is brave, skilled, and tough, but Khamzat Chimaev looks ready to make this fight feel more like a sprint than a marathon. MMA Desk has studied every clip, every stat, and every second of these two warriors. What they found flips the usual story on its head. If you blink, you might miss why this matchup won't be close at all, and why the ending could come before most fans even sit down. MMA Desk starts by ripping up the popular tale that this fight is a coin flip. Many fans and even some experts keep saying, it's 50-50, anything can happen. But when you dig into each fighter's past, the numbers shout something very different.
The odds makers are going to say, the first round, of course, if Khamzat wins, and if it ends before 2 rounds, it's Khamzat all day. I would extend that after seeing this to even the first 3 rounds. 4 and 5 is what I want to see. I want to see Khamzat in the 4th and 5th. And if Khamzat's lighting his ass up, because DDP is going to be tough to finish.
Khamzat has finished almost everyone in the very first round, no matter the weight class or the stage. Dricus, on the other hand, has been in long, rough battles where he soaks up punches, gets dragged to the mat, and then claws his way back. That courage is great, but it also shows how often he gets caught early. Surviving is not the same as winning. Against men like Derek Brunson or Robert Whittaker, Dricus took damage before finding a way to turn the tide. He has never met someone who turns every second into sudden danger the way Khamzat does. MMA Desk says when you remove hopes and look at hard data, finish rates, first-round knockouts, control time, the idea of a razor-thin fight melts away. The true question shifts from who wins to how fast does Khamzat end it? In simple math, surviving is not victory, and surviving is the best Dricus has done against wrestlers, nowhere near Khamzat's level.
DDP versus Khamzat. What is that, like 2-3 weeks? Like,
Yep.
Holy. I just actually watched DDP versus Israel this morning before practice. And dude, Izzy was looking so good in that fight.
The ground game is where MMA Desk sees the gap open into a canyon. Khamzat blasts for a takedown the instant the horn sounds, shifting levels like a cheetah pouncing and driving until his opponent's back is flat. Against Robert Whittaker, Dricus was taken down with a basic double leg that looked almost easy. Whittaker is a great fighter, but his wrestling depends on timing more than raw force. Khamzat mixes perfect timing with bulldozer power and textbook grips. Each shot is twice as fast and twice as heavy. Once he locks his hands, your hips leave the ground and gravity does the rest. People who think Dricus can just hold on and wait it out forget that holding on to a grappler like Khamzat is a trap. He chains moves together single leg to body lock to back take like links in a bike chain. MMA Desk points out that even black belts get lost in those links. They defend one move and the next one is already halfway finished.
I see a lot of people saying the odds for Khamzat versus Dricus are crazy and Dricus Du Plessis should be the favorite, and you know what? I agree. The odds are crazy because Khamzat Chimaev is not a big enough favorite. You heard that right. Minus 180 is not enough for Khamzat Chimaev. I think he should be minus 250, minus 300 in this fight.
By the time the crowd sees what is happening, Khamzat has an opponent's neck or is raining fists. On the mat, this fight feels less like chess and more like checkmate in 3 moves. Fans often talk about Dricus as the big, strong bully of the middleweight yard, but that changes when he meets Khamzat. MMA Desk explains that size is more than height. It is frame, muscle speed, grip strength, and explosiveness. Khamzat walks around heavier than many light heavyweights and carries that mass like a running back. We have seen him ragdoll Robert Whittaker, a man rarely tossed, and knock out foes with a short punch. Meanwhile, Dricus has grown used to pushing people backward with sheer force. Against Sean Strickland and Israel Adesanya, he was the bully. Facing Khamzat flips that script.
Did you see DDP and Khamzat got announced?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Where's that gonna be at?
Chicago.
Oh no. They're letting the terrorists in.
Do you think he beats DDP or do you think DDP retains?
You know it's hard. So those little Chechen, dude, they can grapple. And like someone like me who I've been training with for years, I usually could counter wrestle and grapple them.
For the first time in his UFC career, Dricus might feel smaller. When 2 fighters tie up, stronger grips decide who plants whose head on the canvas. Without his usual strength cushion, Dricus may learn how quick power erases grit. It is like a schoolyard arm wrestle where the new kid slams the local champ before recess ends. Training tales back this up. Teammates report that Khamzat wins sprint races after heavy lifting sessions, a sign of a rare blend of speed and strength. That kind of athletic edge often shows when two fighters lock up, and the weaker man realizes the usual escape fails before it even starts. Another story says, if Dricus survives round 1, his gas tank wins the night. MMA Desk calls that tale half true and half myth. Dricus does not own magical lungs, he simply pushes harder than most men will.
Khamzat Chimaev on your back in round 1 is not easy to get off. And then he was able to sink that in, and that goes to show how strong of a squeeze this freaking dude had.
Could he pull that same style against Dricus Du Plessis? Because I will say this.
1000%.
We have seen him bend over, hands on knees, gulping air, yet still punch moments later. That makes him look tireless, but the heavy breathing is real. Khamzat burns energy fast because he attacks like a storm, but people forget he often does it while dealing damage. In this matchup, the person forced to carry extra weight is Dricus. Picture running laps with a backpack full of wet sand. If Khamzat is glued to his back for most of round 1, who tires first? MMA Desk says the man on bottom, not the man choosing the pace. By round 3, the cardio edge fans count on might be gone or matter less, because the scorecards could already be out of reach. Put simply, both men breathe hard, but only one may be trapped underneath every time he tries to rest. What happens if the fight stays on the feet?
You got Chimaev versus DDP. I've got DDP over Chimaev. I've got Dricus Du Plessis winning. I think Dricus survives round 1 and finishes Chimaev in the later rounds. Dricus is a really good fundamental base in jiu-jitsu and submission grappling, and it's something that not a lot of people know about.
MMA Desk agrees Dricus is the cleaner striker, but the edge is thinner than many think. Dricus throws wide, looping shots from odd angles that can be hard to time, yet they leave him off balance. Khamzat's punches travel straight and fast and carry one-punch knockout power. Fans who label Khamzat a pure grappler forget he flattened Gerald Meerschaert at 185 with a single right hand. In this matchup, every stand-up exchange is shaped by the threat of the takedown. When a wrestler fakes a level change, hands drop, feet freeze, and chins lift. That small pause is enough for a fist to land. Even if Dricus lands first, Khamzat has shown a tough chin against bigger men, so one clean shot may not finish the job. Throwing a second or third wide hook only opens more doors for a takedown.
Hey, I'm gonna smash that guy, knock him out 1 minute, guys. I promise you. I kick your ass and his ass together. Come in the cage.
Why are you so angry?
Training camps can polish timing, but changing lifelong habits in a few weeks is like learning to write with your opposite hand. On paper, Dricus has an edge, yet paper cannot sprawl or wrestle, and that turns a small striking lead into a risky gamble. For Dricus to win, MMA Desk sees only 2 narrow doors, and both are hard to squeeze through. Door 1, Khamzat burns himself out hunting an early finish, like in the Gilbert Burns fight. Door 2, Dricus lands a clean, fight-ending blow before the takedown machine locks in. The first door depends on Khamzat choosing chaos over control, a mistake he has fixed in recent camps. The second door asks Dricus to time a perfect punch while a lightning-quick level change threatens his balance. Throwing big overhands at someone who might vanish under you is like firing a cannon while standing on one foot. MMA Desk calls these low-percentage chances puncher's luck. Luck is never a plan. Dricus' coaches drill wall walks and underhooks, hoping to widen that tiny opening. But even if it cracks open, one failed burst could leave him tangled beneath Khamzat, paying for the gamble with energy and time. History shows that fighters who wait for the one big mistake often end up waiting forever. Meanwhile, the clock keeps ticking, judges keep scoring, and the hole grows deeper. That is why MMA Desk places Dricus' realistic path to victory on the very edge of possible, not probable. Because those doors are tiny, the most likely road is paved with control. MMA Desk says Khamzat can win 3 rounds simply by planting Dricus on his back and keeping him there, even without a finish. Modern judging loves damage, but long stretches of top control mixed with steady elbows pile up points. Picture Khamzat on top, slipping in short strikes and quietly draining the clock. The man on bottom must buck and explode, burning energy like a car stuck in first gear, while the man on top coasts. Wrestlers call this cooking, letting the opponent stew until muscles turn to warm jelly. If Dricus scrambles up, Khamzat clamps a harness and drags him down again. Each reset slices away hope. Judges also notice body language. One fighter stands tall between rounds while the other leans on the fence. Even without big ground and pound, steady top pressure squeezes breath and focus. By the middle of round 3, many opponents start accepting bad position. That quiet surrender is the real goal of control, and MMA Desk believes Khamzat reaches it often.
Khamzat's an incredible fighter, but you're fighting in the top 5 of the UFC. Everybody's incredible fighters. He has this one thing that works for him, and it's been good, but Khamzat is an absolute animal, absolutely. But you look at the Gilbert Burns fight, which you could have scored either way. You look at the Kamaru Usman fight, and you go, Yeah, he did beat Robert Whittaker.
Once a fighter's mind breaks before the body, the scoreboard becomes a formality and the winner all but declared. Yet MMA Desk doubts the judges will get involved. They predict a first-round TKO that feels almost routine. Here's the likely scene. Khamzat dives for the legs, snaps Dricus to the floor, slides to the back like a shadow, and starts hammering fists. Dricus, tough as oak, covers up, rolls, and tries to stand, but each time he posts a hand, Khamzat flattens him again. The referee circles, counts unanswered blows, and waves it off when defenses fade. Why a TKO and not a choke? Because Dricus tucks his chin well, and punches are faster than fishing for the neck. Fans may boo, wanting more action, but the quick end will prove the point. This fight is not close. People might say, but Dricus has never been finished. True. Yet every record meets the wrong hammer. A tide can wear down even the tallest cliff if waves hit hard enough, and these waves are heavy fists. The stoppage may look early to some viewers on first glance, but slow motion replays will show clean impacts, bouncing heads off the canvas. That is the silent language referees hear, gloves smashing skull, eyes glazing, arms trapped. Stopping it prevents long-term damage and lets both men fight another day. Some wonder, what if Dricus survives round 1 and even round 2? MMA Desk answers that the later rounds still favor Khamzat. By then, Dricus could carry bruises on his ribs, cuts near his eyes, and a scorecard mountain decline. To flip the fight, he would need a knockout or a barrage, so dominant the judges forget the first 12 minutes. Each time he plants his feet to punch, he risks another shot to the hips. Even a tired Khamzat can fall back on wrestling like a safety net. If he cannot take the back, he can at least cling to a single leg and stall, banking more control time. Late rounds also bring doctor checks for cuts. If swelling closes an eye, the physician might wave things off. The comeback path shrinks even more under those bright flashlights. And if the action restarts, Khamzat earns a fresh chance to shoot again. Exhausted legs slip on, spilled sweat, hands lower, and breathing sounds like a whistle through a bent straw, making each minute feel longer than the last. So the later rounds become less a comeback zone and more a deeper swamp for Dricus to wade through. When every layer is peeled back, grappling, striking, size, cardio, paths to win the picture is clear. MMA Desk trusts real evidence over catchy slogans, and the evidence says Khamzat holds more keys. Dricus is brave and skilled, but courage alone cannot erase skill gaps. Imagine entering a spelling bee where your rival knows 10 languages while you know 2. Effort matters, yet odds tilt hard. That is why MMA Desk feels confident saying this showdown will not be close. Fans hoping for a nail-biter may feel let down, yet they should admire greatness when it walks into the cage. Khamzat is hunting a statement win, and Dricus is the brave soul standing in front of him. Sometimes stories end with surprise twists, other times the ending is written in bold ink before the first punt. This looks like one of those bold ink nights. Should it end quickly, the lesson will echo across the division. Styles make fights, but some styles break wills. The result will not erase Dricus' past victories. Instead, it will mark where the next level begins. After this night, every middleweight contender will rethink how close they want to stand to Khamzat's shadow, and fans will remember how myths can crumble when facts land first, loud and clear.